pictures, and process type of question that come in Describe Image section of speaking part. In my previous videos, I have already covered bar chart, line chart, pie chart for Describe Image section, and in this video, I will be covering the rest of the type of question that are maps, picture, and process. Since I have already talked in detail about how to deal Describe Image section of speaking part, so in this video I will be going a little fast, and that's the reason why I would be covering all these three type of questions in this one video. So let's start with maps. It is fairly easy to recognize the map type of question. So you will just see in Describe Image section, you'll see one of the question types as map. So you will see any word map or a map of an area, or it can be continent or anything. The common properties of map are basically any map would have legend. So this legend would define what this map is trying to show. So for example, in this figure you can see this map has different sections which have different colors, right? And now this legend tells what color means what information, right? So the common property is that all the map will have legends, or it is also called key of the map, right? Now there would be different section with different colors. Other important thing or other parameter of map would be that every map would be having a center area, a top area, a left area, a right area, a bottom area, or you can say north, south, west, east, right? So when you're dealing with map, it is important that you use this word, like what is the key of the map, what is the legends of the map, or what are the different colors that map is representing. Or if you're good in geography, if you are able to recognize the map, for example, if you know that it's a map of Australia or a map of Africa or a map of world, you can just say that thing, right? And other important thing is to mention these kind of words, for example, top, center, bottom, or you can say south, north, east, west, northeast. So these kind of parameters you should use. So dealing with any kind of map question, you should keep these parameters in mind, and based on these common properties you can make your own template. I'll show you my template. This is the template that I made for my map type of question. So I'll just read this. So it is like, this is a map of a, now in this place you will just mention the name of the area. For example, in this scenario it would be, this is the map of Australia or Africa or whatever map you get. If you get a map of word, you can just say this is a map of a word that uses different colors to show the whatever is the topic hidden. In this map that I have shown, it doesn't have any topic. It doesn't, but probably in exam you will definitely get a heading as well, so you can mention that. If there is no heading, you can just make up your own heading. So for example, in this scenario I would say that this is a map of Australia that uses different colors to show the percentage of non-native population. This is the topic I have just made it for myself, right? In real exam you'll anyways get a topic, so you can add it here. Now once you say this, the next line you'll say the key for this map or the legends for this map, right? So you can either use key or you can use legend. The key for this map uses darker shade, or you can say darker colors for higher value and lighter colors for lower value. Why I said this is because you can see that light color is showing less value and dark color is showing more value. In this example, since it was all green but it has different shade, there might be different example where you can see red for maximum and white for minimum. So you can say it shows it uses different colors to signify different values, right? So the important point is, first line you have to talk about the map, the heading. Second line you need to talk about the key or the legends. Now the third line you can use the same thing that I have all used in my all of the templates, which says from an overall perspective about 1/3 of a map is colored. So whatever the maximum color is, you can just mention that. So for example, in this scenario you can see that most of the color is dark green, so you can just mention uh, about 1/3 of the map. You can also use half of the map or 1/4 of the map. So in this type of question you should generally use uh, approximate value, for example half or 1/3 or almost all the region. So this kind of words you should use in this type of question, right? Now once you have talked about the area that was most visible, for example in this scenario this green was most visible, so I've talked about this thing the first, right? After that you can also say in the east direction, or I mean you need to just say any of the area. You can say in the top, in the center, or in the left, in the east, in the west, anything, whatever is fine with you. So I have used in the east direction the color is mostly black, right? Or you can say the color is mostly white, and whatever white is you can just say, which means that percentage is very less. So you can say this thing. Then you can also say from the given map. This is something which I have always used in all of my templates because I want to have a concluding line extremely simple, so that I don't have to make or think about it. It should just come naturally, and it's like autopilot. As soon as I reach 35 seconds or 32 seconds, I just come to the last line, which is from the given map. Or you can say yes, earlier in other templates I have been using from the given data. Here, because it's map, you can only say from the given map. It can be concluded that, for example, if you see mostly green, you can say this percentage is most prevalent or most popular, right? And last line is always same, and it is anticipated that similar trend will continue to follow in future also. So you can choose to add this line or remove based on the time you have been speaking, but there is no harm in adding this line, because it might not be exactly correct, but yes, this is I mean based on the map, this is what your anticipation is, right? So there's nothing wrong in saying this. The important thing is you have to be fluent while speaking on this template, right? So you can see most, in fact 80% of the words that you would be speaking is from the template itself. You are just inserting few things from this map, right? So you can learn this template by heart, and then you can try to apply this template on different type of maps, right? So whatever it is, how difficult or how easy you get a map, you can just always find these things. Will always find key, you will always find topic, there would be center, there would be top. So all these things you can mention, and when they'll be showing you a map, there would also be different colors or anything. I mean there would be some identifier based on which the keys or legend would be dependent. So you can talk about this thing, right? So I think that's enough for map. We can move on to other section, that is picture actually, right? You will be shown any random picture for this type of question actually. So it can be a picture of anything, it can be anything weird also, like this camera sketch. So but the good thing about this type of question is that in picture you can speak anything actually. So as the famous saying goes that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So let's say, so it's easy to talk about 80 to 85 words about the picture of any given picture in fact. So just let's go through what are the common properties that every picture would be having. So definitely picture will not be having any of the legend as we have seen in map. So there will not be any legends in the picture, but the thing that will be there always is there would be a top section, there would be a bottom section, there would be a left section, there would be a right section, there would be a center section. So whatever picture you get, you just start speaking about the center section, this area, about the top area. For example, top you can say there is a sky, right? About the right you can say there is a green tree. About left you can say there is a black car. About the bottom section you can say there is a road, right? So just speak anything about the picture, but when I say anything, it will be better if you already have a template. So you just follow the template and add information from the picture, right? So I'll show you my template. So this is my template. So how I do it, so this picture shows. Now after shows you will say what is the picture about. So in this case this picture is about a house, right? Or if it is if you're not able to understand what this picture is, you can just say anything. This picture shows a scenery, or this picture shows a car, or this picture shows a road, anything, right? So after first line you need to just repeat the same thing that you have been always doing in all the Describe Image section. From an overall perspective, it can be clearly seen that this picture has some interesting aspects. So just learn this line. You don't have to think about anything else. After speaking the first line, you can just add this thing. You can just say this line, right? Then you can say, starting from the center, we can see that in center, whatever thing you see, just speak that. So in this scenario, I'll say starting from the center, we can see that there are 5 doors, or let's say I'll say there are 3 windows. Anything I can say, right? Anything about the picture actually. Then I can say at the right there are big trees. On the left there is a black car, but on the top there are sky or cloud, and finally at the bottom there is a road. That's it, right? And last line you can obviously say from the given picture it can be concluded that this is a good house, or this is a big building, or anything, any observation that comes to your mind first. Just speak, just say that, right? So it's fairly simple. Just learn this template, and while speaking just say what is at the top, what is at the center, what is at the bottom, what is at the left, and what is at the right. That's it. Okay, so I think there's nothing more to tell about this template. Since you have already gone through all the different templates of different type of Describe Image questions, so by now you would have understood how to use the template and how to insert the information from the given picture. So just learn this and practice this on different type of pictures, right? So now we'll move to the last section, which is process type of question. You will see any kind of a process or any flowchart in this type of question. So for example, I have shown you these two processes. I've deliberately chosen a very weird and a very difficult process to let you know that it doesn't matter whether you understand this process or not. There can be a possibility that you don't understand even a single thing about this whole process. The important thing is that PT is not checking whether you know this flowchart or process. In fact, it is only checking that whether you are able to speak English properly or not, right? So don't worry if you see a process that you don't understand. The good thing about this type of question is that most of the text is already written, so you can see this text. So it is completed with it is covered with text everywhere. In this scenario also, this is covered with text everywhere. So there are lot of information that you can just directly speak actually to get a good marks in content, right? So I'll show you the common properties of process type of question. So uh, any process would have different stages, number of stages actually. So for example, in this scenario, first stage is this crushing and milling, second stage is filtering, third stage is cooling, fourth stage is, I don't know, you can say it goes to rotary kiln, last stage is conversion to aluminum oxide. So you can see there are 1 2 3 4 5, you can say there are 5 stages, or just count the boxes and just say this number of stages are there. So in the 25 seconds of preparation time, you should make sure make a mental note of the number of stages that this process has. Now every process has a starting point and an ending point. There can be scenarios where starting point and ending point are same. So in that scenario, there also would be an arrow from last point to the first point again, right? So that's a recurring process or a recycling thing. So based on these common properties, you can create a template for a process type of question. This is the template that I made for my process type of questions. So it is like the given diagram shows the, I'll just say whatever the topic is. So in this scenario, I would say the given diagram shows the Bayes process, or if there is no topic, I would say the conversion from bauxite to aluminum oxide, right? Second line is common. From an overall perspective, we can see that there are 5 stages to the process. So in the preparation time, I would have already counted the number of process it has. So I would just speak, just uh, just say this line actually. After that, the process is initiated by the first step, that is crushing and milling of bauxite. So just say this line, and whatever is written in the first step, just read it and say it, right? Following this, you can talk about the second stage. So whatever is written in the second stage, you can just mention that, right? So for example, in this scenario, I would say following this, filtering happens that separates the red mud. After that, the next stage is, so I'll just say whatever the next stage is. So in this scenario, I would say after that, the next stage is cooling and crystallization. Lastly, I would say the process is completed when the final stage of conversion to aluminum oxide happens, right? So we will just repeat this of the process is completed when the final stage of, so whatever is the final stage, just read that text or understand what is the final stage and just insert that in this template. In the conclusion, you can say, in conclusion, this process looks simple and easy to follow, or you can say this process looks difficult to follow, or this process looks complex and difficult to follow. So just learn any line that you can just say when you are about to complete your template, right? So it's fairly simple, just to learn this template and add the information from the flowchart actually. So now I have covered all the different type of questions that come in describe image section. uh, I have shown all the templates and I have told how you can use these templates and insert the data from the given question. I'll rephrase all the important points for this section. So the important point is that fluency is the key. So no matter what you say, you have to be fluent throughout, right? So make sure that you speak at least 80 words in the given 35 to 38 seconds. You should learn the template by heart so that you don't have to think when you are speaking. If you have already learned the template, it will come naturally and it will be fluent. You will not stop in between. So that's a thing you have to make sure, right? So that's the benefit of having a template, that because you already know what you're going to speak, you in the given questions you will be just adding few words in the your predefined template. You should also, when you learn a template, so you should practice with different type of questions, right? So this is also important. Practice is important because once you learn the template, you should also practice that. uh, you should make sure that you don't correct yourself when you're speaking. So when you have a template and you are just doing question, let's say you do something, you speak something wrong. For example, instead of saying maximum, you said minimum. Instead of saying any number like 80%, you say 50%. Don't correct yourself, just keep on speaking, right? It doesn't matter, just don't stop whatsoever. So that's the important thing. And of course, be confident while speaking and be loud and clear. As I've mentioned in almost every video on this describe image section, that how you speak is more important than what you speak, right? So don't focus too much on what you are speaking. Just speak fluently, follow the template and insert the few words from the image, right? So that's all for this section. If you still have doubts, feel free to ask question, doubts, query and provide your suggestions. You can mail me at connect.pte@gmail.com. And if you like this video, please comment, like, share and subscribe. It will motivate me to make more videos. Thank you.